Hey there! Today we'll have a look at a Montblanc pen, and I'm quite excited to review this pen because I received a lot of review requests for this pen through the years, and Joost Appelboom of Appelboom Pen picked up on that and said, "Stephen, let me send you one of those pens." So Joost, thanks a lot. It's it's here on loan. And let's cover it, because I know you're excited about this, because people really wanted to see this apparently. Montblanc, white, well, off-white outer sleeve, and then the box. Montblanc does pretty simple boxes, but I think they're efficient at what they do. It's a nice box. It doesn't feel cheap, and that's nice. A pretty extensive care and service guide, including, I always enjoy this, all the different nib options they offer. I think it's just nice. And then of course you have the actual pen in its cushioned little bed. Let's take it out, and then I'm going to cover the parts of the pen, what I really like about it, what I don't like about it, and then I'll do a writing sample. I'm going to move forward a bit. Here we have the pen, alright? Pen, nice and shiny, as we would expect from Montblanc, medium nib as you can see. And let's start at the top there. There's the finial. Now this is not just any finial, this is a floating finial. It's suspended in time like a falling leaf. I'm making this as poetic as I can make it. And then you have that clip. It looks a bit like a harpoon to me. It's a very pointy clip there, and it's nice and springy. Then you have that, well, it's not really a center band, the clip band, I would say, up there says Montblanc. Then you have the cap, and of course the barrel. Alright, now the barrel tapers down, ends in threads right there for posting, and of course this one is still stickered M for medium. The cap unscrews, and here you have a section. Now this nib and section are very reminiscent of the Montblanc M, or maybe it's actually the other way around, because the Starwalker was there before the M was. Okay, so it has this nib that seems to be folded around the feet a little bit. In that regard, it's a little bit Lamy Safari-esque. I know people are going to comment on me comparing the two, but you may know what I mean. The nib seems to be folded a little bit around the feet. And this section has some well, knurling on it, I guess, because it's not really rings. It's really more of a knurling pattern, and then the threads for the cap there, which are actually not very sharp, but there is quite a bit of a step down from the barrel, which you do feel. Not a piston filler. It is a Cartridge Converter filled pen, and right now there is just Montblanc royal blue in it, in a converter of some pen. I forgot what I got this with. It was actually quite some fiddling to find a converter that fits this. Of course you could just buy a Montblanc converter, but even some of the Montblanc converters, we have one, and that actually didn't fit, so maybe it's another type. In any case, if you want to buy this, make sure you get the proper converter with it if you want to use it with bottled ink. Okay, what do I like about the pen? What do I not like about the pen? Well, it's a Montblanc pen. Montblanc is considered to be a very, well, I want to say high quality brand, but of course also a very prestigious brand. And there are some things about this pen that I really like. There are also some things about this pen that I really don't like. The nib, it flows well, and it was cleaned properly before use. It is a pretty smooth nib, I would say, and it puts down a nice layer of ink. I like that. Another thing that I really like is, it sounds stupid, but is that white star, because they did it very well on this pen. The fact that it's suspended in the air like this, it could be just me, but I think this is very cool. It adds a layer of depth to the finial of the cap. It's see-through material with the little stars suspended in there. I think it looks very, very cool. And just because otherwise people are going to tell me, yes, I know it's the Peaks of Montblanc, I know that, alright? Good. I think it's cool. I like the clip. I mean, clearly attention to detail was very present here. The clip with the little line there, I mean, it just looks nice. And I didn't show you that yet. so the cap does post on the back with the threads. Then you get a decently sized pen. A little skinny, but decently sized. And without the cap on there, it's also very usable. So those are some things I like. Things I don't like. First of all, with this pen I seem to get a lot of cross-threading with the cap. Of course, when you do this, then it never happens on the spot. But it has definitely cross-threaded on me a couple of times, both in the section and on the back. And as I said, right now, of course it doesn't happen, but believe me, it has happened. The second thing that I notice in this pen is it's very light. It's really light, and I know that Montblanc uses precious resin, and I know that it's not a heavy material, but it's really light. I would be inclined to say this is at the point of an Namiki Falcon light. If you've ever used a Falcon, then you may know what I'm talking about. It has a little bit more metal, for example, in the section, so it's probably a little heavier, but it's a super light pen. And not everybody enjoys that. For longer writing sessions, I think it would be comfortable, but then for really long writing sessions, maybe a piston filler would be nicer than a converter or cartridge filled pen. So what do you get? Well, you do get a well-made pen. I mean, there are some issues like this step down is a little sharp, and as I said, it's not a piston filler. Not necessarily a bad thing. It's also it's easier to clean this than to clean a piston filler. And in this case, the clip and the nib don't align completely, so that's a bit of an aesthetic thing. But for me, the main issue is the weight. I find the weight the biggest issue. That it's a bit sharp and all that. It's okay, but it's so light, and to me, that makes the pen feel like it's not an extremely high quality pen, even though it is. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it. It's clearly well made. They put effort in it. It's nice threads. Even though they cross-thread a bit, but I mean they're not sharp. That's what I'm trying to say. It's nice, but I don't get the Montblanc luxury feeling personally, and that's one issue. The other issue is that on the Meisterstück pens, the nibs are all very I think a bit springier, especially the broader nibs. But this is a very rigid nib, even though it is gold. It's I haven't read what's on the end. It says AU 585, so it's a 14 karat gold. It has a little star on it. It's very rigid, and I personally like it when a nib yields a little bit as you write. So the other issue, of course, is that being a Montblanc, it's a pretty expensive pen, and I am not sure if I would be willing to pay the full price for this pen. If I would want this, it's probably something I would try to pick up pre-owned somewhere. This is a pen that I would recommend that if you're considering getting it, really try to hold it before you order it online. This is one of those pens where it really pays off, I think, to go to a brick and mortar store. The nice thing with Montblanc is that there are Montblanc boutiques all over the world, even in airports, etc. Really give it a shot before you try this one. Nothing inherently wrong with the pen, but given the price, yeah, I would say try it out. Okay, Joost, my friend, thanks a lot for jumping into the rescue and lending me this pen. I really appreciate it. Guys, measurements of the pen are on the website, as always, sbrebrown.com. High resolution pictures taken by Gourmet Pens are on the website. All we need to do now is a writing sample. That's coming up next. I hope this was useful so far, and I'll very gladly see you later. Bye bye. Okay, here we go with the Montblanc Starwalker. The nib is medium and the ink is Montblanc Royal Blue. There is a pronounced touch of feedback as I write. Not scratchiness, but this is not an ultra smooth nib. Also, as I'm writing, I notice again how small the section is, and I do feel this ridge. Okay, wetness. Fairly wet writer. Line variation. There is some. So, anyway, that's nice. Okay, then reverse writing. This is a very fine line when you reverse it. I would say that's an extra fine, but it's also very scratchy, so it's not a very smooth writing experience like that. Okay, kind thanks to Appelboom Pennen for hooking me up with this pen for the review, and guys, hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later.